Hi, all. This is Julia Katsivo. I am really excited to be here with you tonight, Monday night, for part one of my four-part series in which we're going to talk about the holidays and our business and see if we can make them mash together. I'll let you know what I mean. So, I'm Julia Katsivo. I am a business coach and I help entrepreneurs refine their niche and tighten up their marketing because if you don't know who your target market is, your marketing plan will fail. Thank you for joining me. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. There was a time when I used to freelance articles, and this was about 10 years ago. And I remember during the holidays, I would get into a bit of a low funk. And that's because I would look at what was happening mainly on social media, and I would see people getting excited and preparing for the holidays. And at the same time, I would be thinking about how to grow my freelance business. Who to reach out to, who to connect with, who to pitch a story, who to re-engage. It was pretty frustrating because I would be so exhausted by the end of the year from everything that I had done throughout the year. And yet I knew that just because it was the holiday season, I still had a couple of weeks in which I could get some work in. And so balancing that sort of dilemma used to leave me even more exhausted. And what would happen is sometimes I wouldn't do anything. So I'd find myself just sitting there for about 2 months, trying to enjoy my time off with my family and friends, but at the same time stressing about the future of my business and thinking about what kind of a start I wanted in January. So this went on for a bit until one day I was speaking with someone and I was asking him about his business, and I said, are you excited about the holidays? Like, do you make any money during the holidays, or do you just take a complete break, and leave your business? And he's like, are you kidding me? I make so much money in the holidays, and that allows me to have a really, really good time. Hi, thank you for joining. I see you. So he said, yep, it allows me to have a really good time. I make a lot of money in the holidays. That's when some of my busiest times. And so I'm able to really have fun with my family and friends because I'm not stressing about my business. And I thought, that's interesting. And he said, it's much easier when your business is thriving to spend quality time with your family and friends because you can be there and really enjoy with them rather than thinking about what's going to happen to my business, or what's going to happen on Monday, what's going to happen next week or the new year. So the reason why I chose today's topic is I'm going to show you how you can still take time out and really have a great time with your family and friends while growing your business over the holidays. The reason I chose this topic is because a lot of my people, they have angst when it comes to the holidays. Yes, they want to spend that alone time, or they want to spend that time with family and friends. But, their reality is that they're stressed out. It's the end of the year, so they're looking at the business results and they're not exactly where they want it to be, and they're a little apprehensive about the coming year. So, this is a period in time for them where they feel judged and condemned and doomed to fail, or apprehensive. And so I thought this would be a really great topic for us to tackle over the next few days. And for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how you can both have a really great time with your family and friends while still growing your business. So this is for you if you would love, love, love to pretend that holiday season is something you look forward to, but you can't lie. You are stressed out. You haven't had the number of clients you were hoping for. You haven't made the kind of money you were hoping for. Your marketing is all over the place, and you don't want to finish the year off this way. In fact, you would much, much rather make money over the next few weeks so that you can really enjoy your time with your friends and your family. So you're in the right place if this is the headspace that you're in. I completely understand your pain and I've got you. Now, this is what usually happens. People will look at their results over the last year and they'll wonder, where did the time go? Like, I put in all this work, I put in all these hours, I met all these people, I had all these phone calls. Why, when I look at my business, have I not moved? Or why does it seem like I'm even regressing? It seems to be going backward. And at the same time, they'll feel so exhausted that the thought of going up for another networking meeting, signing up to speak with someone, making that call, sending that email, just that thought is enough to send you to bed for a long nap. But you look at the calendar and you have at least 6 more weeks to go before the end of the year. And that part of you that's an entrepreneur that knows how to take advantage of opportunities and doesn't like wasting time is still looking at that and thinking, well, I have time. I can do something. What I find is that people are so exhausted mentally, and you do require that kind of energy and focus to get up and do what you do every day, that when it comes to planning what to do during the holiday season, they sort of give in to what's going on out there in the world and just say, you know what, maybe I'll just take this break and use this time to reframe or to get a better understanding of myself and my business and come back January 1st and start fresh. The problem with this idea is it has so many things tacked on it, so many hopes and dreams, that it becomes a very overwhelming date. January 1st is the date when you say, this is when this year will be different. This is the year that I will kill it, nail it, rock it. This is the year that I will lose weight. This is the year that I will get married. This is the year my business will take off. Everything gets dumped on January 1st. So no wonder, even as the moment is approaching, it almost feels like subconsciously you'd like to push that date, January 1st, a little bit farther down the line, because there's still that question that's hanging in the back of their head that asks, well, how am I going to get this done? How am I going to get this done? What I found the problem to be is that people focus on the work and the process more than they do on the results. Now, I know we should really not look at the results, because results are indefinite and they can change. And when you learn to love the process, you get better results because you learn to be good at being happy at any given moment, at any time. So this is not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is when people think about, okay, so I have 6 weeks left to the end of the year. I have more than enough time to go out, generate leads, get on the phone, have meetings, and make money. What they tend to think about is the work that it requires, that all this requires. So even going for a networking event, someone will be thinking about, and especially if you live in a place like Canada, where for the last few months, at the end of the year and the first few months, the beginning of the year, it's just darkness and cold and snow and darkness. The thought of getting up and bundling up to go out to a networking event in which it may or may not have the people that you like, in which you may or may not make any connections, in which you may or may not have a good time, to come back and scroll down your disappointment. When people think about that, then of course they're not going. They're not doing anything. And a lot of people tend to think about those kinds of situations when they think about the work they have to do. So when they think about setting up sales appointments or people that they can speak with on the phone, what they focus on is, yes, I want, 10 plus calls. I want to talk to people all week long. And at the same time, they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have those awkward conversations in which at some point in time I have to try and sell to you. And then here you tell me no. And then try to make it not an awkward ending. And then go on to the next call. And when they think about that, think about the apprehension of building rapport quickly and, going on that call and then selling, that stress, then of course they're not setting up any appointments. So what I'm saying here is we have to start asking ourselves about the results. Well, what results do we want? So for example, if you think to yourself, well, I really do need to go out and network and meet people, this is actually a great time because we can mix the business and the pleasure aspect. There are tons of galas taking place around now, tons of opportunities in which you can network and still have fun because it is the holiday season. Well, when you think about about that, and maybe you feel yourself apprehensive about the whole exercise, well, ask yourself, well, what will this mean for me if I do go network? And when you think about what it'll mean for you and what kind of outcomes you can get, then it starts to make your decision-making process a lot easier. For example, now I did mention to you how about 10 years ago when I was doing the freelance writing, I would have this angst over the holidays because I was so exhausted. I didn't have it in me to do any more looking for work. But at the same time, I was cognizant of the fact that there were a couple of weeks till the end of the year when I could still work. Well, what I started to ask myself were questions like, well, what would January look like if you did the work now? And January would look really, really beautiful. I'd be like, oh, I would have my writing assignments, or I would have already be in communication with people, and we would be doing a back and forth to make sure that the writing is exactly what's needed for that publication. Whatever it is that I imagined was beautiful. Up until today, when I get those moments when I just feel so exhausted and I want to just go into that zone where, you're like, you know what, forget this. It doesn't even matter. Why even bother? Then I ask myself, in a month from now, what will it look like if you did what you've decided to do today? What would that look like to you in a month? And it always looks beautiful. So what I'd like to ask you to do is to think about the results, the end results, and to do a little exercise when we're done here. I'd like you to take a blank piece of paper, and at the very top, I want you to just put down one result. Now, don't overwhelm yourself with all the 15,000 things that you wanted to accomplish for 2018 and then just throw them on there in that one line. No, just think about something that you'd really, really, really like to get done by the end of the year, and make it one thing. Out of all the things that you could do, what is that one thing that you'd love to get done by the end of the year? And let's really focus on your business. You could do this on the personal side, but let's talk about business, okay? So write down that result right there, and then, underline it. And below that, work the steps backwards from now until the end of the year. And this is going to show you what you can do every day or every week so that you can achieve that goal. And I'll tell you this is how you get to really enjoy the time that you spend with yourself or your family and friends while still growing your business. When you set out to do what it is that you said you will do every day, it allows you that freedom to really enjoy yourself with others. But if you're living in worry and angst, so when you're with your family and friends, you're not really with your family and friends. And when you're thinking about your business or working on your business, you're not. So you're procrastinating on Facebook for a couple hundred hours. Nothing gets done. You're not moving forward, and you've just heaped on yourself a ton of stress. Well, this will change those results for you, because you simply ask yourself, now this is what we needed to do today. And I know that I really don't feel like doing it, but what's going to happen for me if I get it done? And you will remember that end result, that one result that you're looking for at the end of 2018. Get it done. And then the next day and the next day. This way, even when you're with your family and friends, or if you're spending alone time, you can rest easy in the knowledge that I took care of what I had to take care of so that I can meet my goal. And this frees me up to really, really enjoy myself with my family and friends. I hope that's helpful. Now, I know that you probably have specific questions about how do you self-motivate, how do you get motivated, because you do really need to start a routine and to create some boundaries and some space around you so that you can get into that zone that allows you to do what it is that I suggested. So you may have some questions that's specific to your business. Not all businesses are created equal. And so for that reason, I've created a few spaces this week that I've freed up so that I can chat with you one-on-one on the phone. Now, this is a free session. It's free because I love speaking with people just like you, and it's great market research for me. I get to see what troubles you when it comes to marketing, motivation, and going out and doing the right activities to start or grow your business. So please go. I'm going to be putting the chat link on the comment. Go ahead and book some time. I do urge you to book your time with me this week, because the next time I'm taking appointments is in January, January of 2019. So if you find that you do not want to waste your December and you definitely don't want to waste the rest of this week, then this is a really awesome opportunity for you to go in and book yourself a call. We're going to get on the call and I'm going to find out where you are mentally, psychologically, and also with your marketing strategies. And we're going to look at where you want, what that one thing that you want done for 2018. And then we'll work the steps backwards. We'll create a plan for you and I'll show you how I can help you achieve that in a relatively short amount of time. My name's Julia Katsivo. Now join me tomorrow. Tomorrow is part 2 and it's going to be taking place at noon Eastern time right here. And I'm going to show you how to be productive versus busy. And what does that look like? Well, if maybe you only have half an hour or 1 hour a week, you know, the people that I work with are people who also have jobs and families and many other different things that they have to do at the same time. And I'm aware of that. Well, I'm going to show you what you can do in 1 hour to create a week or a month's worth of work. So tune in tomorrow at noon and bring me your questions if you have any. I'm very friendly and I'd love to chat with you. So thank you for joining me. Have an incredible rest of the evening. And if you're in Canada or any of these other cold northern states, bundle up.